from this mind rot. I am the darkness from which you run, but I will stay here until my work is done. You've seen me in your mind, but you cannot conceal me. I've been here all the time, and that you cannot disagree. I'm on top of your mind, I'm crushing down.
Alright, so you're going to want to pull your old intake off. It's recommended that you disconnect the battery cable, but I'm taking a chance. So disconnect your mass airflow sensor. It's just a little connection here, and you're going to need a flat blade screwdriver to undo these hose clamps. A nut driver actually works better, but it's just those two clamps and this wing nut, and this slide lifts up in the back and slides off, and all of this is going to get taken out, including this. Once you got the tube off, make sure you disconnect this crankcase breather. It's just an elbow that goes into the side here, and nothing is going to be reused here. This elbow will not be reused. Alright, so this is what it's going to look like when you got the airbox out. There's these two grommets, and it just pulls, the whole box just pulls out of there. I'll walk over here to the box. This mass airflow sensor is going to be reused, of course, so this needs to be separated from this old airbox, and we're going to put this on the new airbox shield that came with the kit. And getting that apart is as simple as doing a hose clamp, pulling it off the airbox, and removing this gasket. There's your sensor. It's a little dirty. I'm not gonna mess with it though. Alright, so using a 7/32 socket, you're going to remove this factory stud that used to hold the throttle body on. Now that you've got the bolt out, you're going to use a 5/16 wrench to remove the bolt from the standoff, and you're going to put this bolt back in the same hole. Alright, now that you've got your bolt back in, your stud, you're going to come back. You're going to hand tighten these standoffs onto those three studs. First one is right here, and I imagine you want to be very careful not to drop these. Alright, so once you got those three standoffs on, it's time to put your neoprene throttle body gasket on. Just goes on like that, but first I'm going to take some lacquer thinner and clean this gasket surface. Well, one thing that K&N does not tell you in their instructions is there's a 10mm bolt that holds this drive-by wire, holds that bracket on, that black bracket where that stud is. You need to remove the nut so that the stud can bottom out, or so that that standoff can bottom out on the stud. Alright, so when you're done with that, it should look like this. I accidentally over-tightened this standoff, and it sheared off of the it sheared the stud, so I'm gonna have to get a new stud. But if these just too tightened, and this in between this gasket, it's already sealing better than the stock intake was anyway, with just the plastic box. That stupid thing. So anyways, the next step is to remove that bolt, and this bolt with the washer. These two bolts you're going to toss, and this one you're going to keep with the washer because it goes through the end of that standoff bracket. So after you do that, you take your two rubber studs, and those go in the two holes right there. Now it's time to put the shield in. That just bolts in, using the same bolt for the standoff bracket that came out. Now it's time to put the filter assembly on. I have the black donut inside of it already tightened down. So the studs go through mass airflow sensor and sandwich the black donut that holds the filter on between this plate. Next step is to install the breathing antler, the big K&N tube. When you're putting this tube on, you're going to want to make sure that this top part is completely bottomed out on this adapter plate for your throttle body. Make sure it's completely bottomed out before you even tighten anything. Right now nothing is tight on this. You're going to want to connect your crankcase breather. You remove the elbow that's stock on the end of this, and you just attach the supplied tubing. This you actually have to rotate. This goes down into the valve cover, and you've got to rotate it so that it lines up with this and doesn't kink. So next I'm going to tighten this down, and I'm going to show you how to properly oil your K&N filter. Make sure everything's tightened down real well, and make sure to reconnect your mass airflow sensor. Otherwise it won't run too great. But that's what it looks like now. Going to put the filter on after I oil it, and then you're going to also want to make sure you put your carb exemption sticker visible under the hood. So anywhere down here or on the fan guard, or not on this because it's too oily. It's an oily type of plastic, but even on this metal here, just so it's visible for emissions. Now these filters don't come oiled from the factory, so you have to do it yourself the first time. I bought a recharger kit. Comes with a cleaner and oil. You clean it first and then oil it. In this case I'm just going to oil it because it's never been used. It's an aerosol oil, and it's about 3 inches away, and you spray each pleat. If there's any, they call it white spots left, this whole filter should be red. There should be no white visible, and you're going to want to let it soak for about 20 minutes, I think is what it says. Alright, I believe it was 6 squirts with this oil. I was able to cover the whole filter. You do not want to use that generously. You want to just barely get enough on there, because if you over oil your K&N air filter, this is why there's so much controversy with these filters. You will gum up your mass airflow sensor to where it cannot be cleaned. You have to get a new one, and those are not cheap. At least for my truck they're not. So just go sparingly with the oil and you'll be fine. Most of the K&N haters can't oil their filter correctly, so there it is. Complete. We'll get a start up and maybe a test drive. Time to put the sticker on. Officially badged, along with Gibson and Flowmaster. Breathing easier. Test drive time. You can really hear it sucking. Wow, it's got so much better throttle response. I can feel it, man. Definitely better throttle response. You're sucking. Yeah. I'm gonna turn this off and enjoy it. So, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. This is Eric the Redneck.